Hi, I'm Livingston, and welcome to today's little. I don't know what to call it. It's not a tutorial, but I think I'm gonna call it picture review. So the project that I'm doing with this one is quite simple. I have people send me their pictures by email. I look through them and I review the images. I tell them what I think as I'm looking at them. That's what I'm going to do today. So I had 7 entries for this week, I think from Tuesday or Wednesday, that I sent some stuff around. So this is like the first episode of this kind of work, and I'm hoping to get more images from you guys to review. The purpose of this is to help you see what you can do the next time you go do a shoot, what to look out for, and how best your images can get better. Now let me say this to disclaim. Now these are just my opinions. They are not universal, but I'm speaking purely from my point of view. So do not take it as though it's like, the ultimate DextDee said this, so that's it. No, it's my opinion. You can take it, you can leave it, but it helps you see what other people see. That's the whole purpose of this tutorial. So let's begin. So the first image that I have is from Kwekuti Yeboah. So this is the image that he sent in. I think he sent me the details of what this image was shot with, but let's begin. So the first thing is to look at the image from afar. That's how I review or I look at pictures. So from afar I can clearly tell this is a natural light. It's shot I think with an overcast. There was an overcast, that's what I think. Now a very shallow depth of field I can see, and the reason why I'm able to tell is because I see some chromatic aberration. I would explain why chromatic aberration would give me the information that the depth of field was very shallow. So from afar the image looks okay. It's just capturing what I see is just a guy just caught midsection of a reaction, or just like, hey, take a picture of me, and that's it. It looks okay. It's not over the top. I think for the guy, he'll be very happy with this picture. Yeah, but generally I think it's an okay picture. If I look again, this image, I don't think it's been edited. It's been shot raw. It's fine. I always say that if you don't know how to edit, please do not edit the picture. It will just ruin something that is perfectly fine. But now that I've zoomed in, there are 2 things that I see. One, it looks like the smoothening, the skin smoothening slider in Lightroom was like shifted, so you can see that the skin has been made kind of smooth, but he didn't have time to clean the little details and the pimples and all that stuff. So this is what you see, and this is not good. You don't want to do that. So after smoothing, he pulled up the slider to bring in details and sharpen a bit. So it's made it to, from afar the image looks fine, but once you zoom in, it doesn't look that great anymore. And this is not good editing. If I would have preferred you left the picture just as it is. Yeah, but let me come here. Let me see. Yeah, I can see the fabric is all detailed. It works fine here, just almost fine, but on the face it's bad. Now chromatic aberration, this is where you see it the most. Do you see that purple cast that is on the wrist? Chromatic aberration happens when you open your lens too wide and there's already a lot of light inside. The edges of the aperture and the body of the lens, that intersection, it causes the light to just streak through a bit, and then gives you this chromatic aberration. So if you shoot wide open, so if you have a 1.8 lens, so f1.8, and you shoot at f1.8, the likelihood of getting this is very high. So usually try and stop down your lens to about 3 stops below wide open. So chromatic aberration is not a good thing. So next time, Kweku, when you're shooting, try and close down your aperture to maybe f2.8 and above if you have a 1.8 lens, or something just 2 to 3 stops away from the lens being wide open. But this wasn't a good idea, the whole sharpening thing. I'd have preferred you left it clean and open like that. That would have been great. So if I'm to rate this, the rating that I'm going to be giving will be, I'm calling them light bulbs. So it's over 10. The light bulb is over 10. So I'm going to give this probably about maybe a 4, like 4 light bulbs, 3 to 4 light bulbs, I would say, or maybe 3.5. Yeah, so cool. That is my review on this image. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is by Richard Opon. So he says this is an editorial of Aldria. That's the name. So from afar, image looks fine. It looks okay to me. The colors are, they're pretty much, they're very decent. I'll go into details a bit. I think the pose is great. The expression on the model's face is also very good. The lighting is, it's clean. The lighting is clean. Yeah. Let me go straight to it. I think that there's a lot of space up here that is being wasted. He could have just cropped the image down from the top and then, bring in more details. I mean, bring the subject more closer. Did I say more closer? I mean closer. So you could have chopped off the top to bring the subject closer. Also, I'm not sure I like the chair. It gives me this feeling of like it's a chair for a handicapped person or something, with the whole, it looks like a walking stick or something. I'm not big on the chair. Maybe if you had some wooden chairs, it would have been really great. Wooden brown chairs would have complemented the skin as well. But yeah, also when we talk about the color is fine, but if you look at the skin color here, it's a bit greenish and bright. Well, let me use the word bright for now. But when you look at the legs are a bit dark. That's probably because the light was way up and then it couldn't reach. But with the person seated like this, you should have your soft box or octabox kind of pointing to the center so you can reach out to the legs as well. But I would have preferred that you even out the exposure down here as well as up here. So next time, just keep that in mind. Sometimes if you shoot and for whatever reason you don't have the light to go down there, just use the graduated filter and then just open up the base of the picture. Now if we zoom in, yeah, he's done a pretty decent level of editing. I don't know, but let's see. It's pretty decent. The quality is not so high for me to tell, but the editing is, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It's very decent, I would say. I don't know what really happened here, but this is called pixel peeping. So I'm like looking close, but I would say, yeah, the editing is almost there. Yeah, it's almost there. So Richard, yeah, I think it's decent, but with a few things that I've said, I think you can just touch on them and then make it fine. So with this, I'd give you a 5 light bulb. It's okay. It's a good picture. So let's move on to the next one. Now, this is a different picture. It's not a portrait. This is I think the person was shooting during the New Year with the fireworks going off and all, and they just took this picture with the moon. If it's shot just like that, zoomed in, I think it's a great picture. I like how this is to the side, the firework is to the side, and then the moon is in the middle. I'd have preferred if he used like if he was able to catch the firework just here, and that way the firework would burst away from the moon. That would have been really great. This is by Emmanuel Akosam. So I think it's also a great picture from far, but when you zoom in, it's not that clear or not that sharp. I don't blame him. I mean, it's at night, but with a little bit more work, you should be able to, get something decent. So this image, I think it's pretty decent. It's fine. It's I don't have much to say about it. Just maybe I wish it were a bit clearer. And the fireworks was right above, or right, like it was dispersing from the moon, then that would have been really great. But yeah, I think it's pretty decent. I'm not big on it. I would probably give it about 4 light bulbs. Yeah, let's move on to the next. This one is by Wild Imaginations. I think this is a great picture. I like the black and white. I like how when you look at the picture, immediately you get to see, you know, the people's face and this light. I'm not sure about the light. If it were a bit darker, I would have, you know, given more attention. But generally, I think it's fine. I like the light coming from the top. Gives a nice mood feel. Maybe, let me see. If I took this out, would it be nice? I think this one gives it more, you know, it gives the image more dynamics. So, yeah, maybe we'll just leave it there. It's fine, but maybe brighten up the face to match up with the brightness of this, because now that I'm looking at the image, I'm looking at the face here, but then I still get distracted by the light in the back because it's quite bright. When you're viewing an image, the human eye tends to go to the brightest and then the sharpest point. So yes, this place may be sharp, this place may be sharp, but the brightest one is what is taking attention. Even the white gown is not that bright, so even though I'm still looking at them, nice, lovely smile, I am still distracted by this. So that's my issue with it. So maybe brighten up the face to come match up over here, or dial this down. I think it would be easier to brighten up than dialing this down, because once highlights are lost, that's it. I like the leading line, you know, idea here. This over here, what you have working here is great. I think it's not an over the top like great picture. It could have been much better if you changed your angle and all that stuff. It could have been way much better, but it's still fine. You're using the rule of the third and a bit of the leading lines. It's great. So I will probably give you, say, maybe, I don't know, 4.5 light bulbs. Now there's not a clear picture, so I can, you know, zoom in well to, you know, discuss the details of the editing, but from what I see, yeah, I think probably she had fairly good skin. You just had to do a little bit of retouching and it was fine. So, or you didn't do anything at all, so that's great. So yeah, it's okay. Let's move on to the next picture. Next picture again is by Richard Opon. So he sends in this one as well, like the first one that we shot. I think it's also a great picture. As I said, the skin tone is a bit off for me. It's a bit too purple for my liking. Yeah, the skin tone is a little bit off for me, so I'm not too big on that. I like the light with the shadow in the background. I like the shadows. Most people don't like shadows, but I like the shadows. But yeah, it's fine. In terms of editing, you can actually see through this one a little bit more. In the armpit here is not too flat, so you might want to even it. So a line will just come through like this to make it nice, and then you clear all the other ones. That would be great. And this side as well. I added a bit of noise. It's okay. Sometimes you add noise, but in this particular case, if I zoom in, it's in between okay and bothering. Let's see. You've done a decent work on the tonal transition. That's fine, but there are some few works that need to be done. The technique of frequency separation you're using can be improved. Take your time and throw in dodge and burn as well, and it should help you with that. You could have dodged and burned the face a little bit more to give it more dimension, because when you do the tonal smoothing, it flattens the face, so you build it back up with dodging and burning, you know. So that's basically it. But the colors can be better. Again, your crop can be tighter, so you crop in like so and then leave the space here, because she's looking over here, so you want to give her the headroom. Okay, so you crop like so and like so and like that. Let me see if I can crop it. It'll be terrible to crop with this viewer. I'll get a better viewer next time I do these reviews, but yeah, I'll still probably give this like a 4.5, like 4.5 light bulbs. It's okay. It's an okay picture. Let's move on to the next. It's a picture of a monkey. Says the monkey took the biscuit and just tore it open, and then just started eating it. Smart monkey, I would say. So this is by Emmanuel. Emat. Yeah, Emmanuel, the picture is not sharp. I know, the monkey's moving, up and down and all that stuff. You're shooting an animal, it'll move spontaneously. So you have to set your shutter speed to be really fast. And it looks like he had a lot of light. So any shutter speed above 1,000 to 2,000, you should have been able to freeze the animal's face. But next time, make it sharp. Your focus was here, which was great. And I see you did a bit of editing to cover this area. Not the best. From afar, it looks fine. But zoomed in like this, it's not the best. I don't know why you did that, but I'm sure you have your reasons. But next time, just try and leave it as natural as possible. Now, the tree over here is very distracting. Maybe if you had changed your angle to a place where the tree wasn't around. Yes, now it looks like the tree's coming out from the. Now it looks like the tree is coming out from the hand. It's a bit weird, but you could have cleaned it out with Photoshop. With looking at what you did with this, it would have made the image cleaner, and fixed your shutter speed. And then your focus. Yeah, your focus was on the biscuit, so it's fine. I'm not going to argue with that. So generally, I think it's okay, but for the blurriness, I'll probably give you like 2.5 light bulbs, maybe. Yeah, you should know your subject, know what to expect from the subject, and that can help you, make your settings right. Sorry about that. That's my phone. The next one is by a Fair Billionaire. So she sends in this picture. I think it's a studio work that she did. From afar, a Fair, lovely model, great smile you're able to capture. But the color is a bit off. The white balance, I would say, feels a bit off in this picture. And the skin looks greenish. And also your horizon, your line isn't straight. Should have rotated the image a little bit to make it straight. It's a huge deal for me. If you're going to leave these lines, you have to adjust it and make it right. So yeah, that's it. And then I don't know what technique you're using to edit, but you might want to work on it a little bit more. If you're going for a clean skin, nice tones and transitions and all that stuff, that's fine. As I can see, you've done well on the face, but when it gets around this area, it doesn't quite come out well. So one mistake that I see many people do, like many beginners do, is that they are more concerned about the face. You edit the face and then you forget the body, the skin, the legs, and all that stuff, and it looks just wrong. So it's kind of happening here. It's not so bad, but generally her smile takes away from everything. So yeah, you can get away with it, but you can work a little bit more on this. The pose is great. Expression is great. Lighting is also good. I think your lighting is fine. So I'll probably give you a 4.5 light bulb on this one. I would say to a 5. So well done, Afia. Let's move on to the next. This is by Akol Ruben. So from afar, nice portrait, nice background. The space up here has been wasted. It's like the pixels that you had over here. If you had gone in closer to the subject, you'd have used those pixels of the camera onto the face a bit more. But if you shot it like this, just cropping, this way, and then the picture gets much closer. So like, let me see if I can. Yeah, so if you had cropped the image like this, it would have been much better. Excuse me. Yeah, so maybe let's see. Yeah, something like this. Just clear this little bit off, and it would have been much better. Let me see. Yeah, something like this would be great. Yeah, a crop like this would be fine. Now, I'm not too big on the pose. I don't know why the hands are at the back, but you could have brought it to the front. The smile is great. From afar, I see that the retouching is not the best. Again, here I can see skin smoothening. Maybe it's the texture. The quality of the picture, but I can see skin smoothening that doesn't quite help. It's one kind of frequency separation that you use that doesn't quite help certain things at certain times. In this case, you could have done it well to make it work, but I think that from a far image looks fine. Again, your colors, the image, her skin looks purplish. It's not the best. check your white balance and then fix that a little bit. The colors of like the colors of the trees in the background, they're great. Those ones I wouldn't even question that, but try and get the skin of the subject much better. If you look at this side, it's purplish, and then when you come here, it's a bit yellowish, sort of. And here I can't really tell what color it is, but it's kind of like purple yellow a bit. So yeah. And then if the pose is fine, but have the subject turn their face to the side a bit more to look at you directly would have been equally nice as well. So these are the little things that I have to say about it. So generally, I'll probably give this like a four light bulbs, I would say. And then the last image, ooh, this is a hot one. This is from Bright O2. So Bright sent in this picture once reviewed. This is the last image that I'm reviewing. I'm past 20 minutes, so I'll try and make it quick. So from afar, yeah, it's a hot girl. It's definitely gonna attract you, but from afar I can tell that the retouching technique used is not the best, and the skin looks plasticky, like a porcelain skin. If I zoom in, yes, you can tell that. So you can see that it's like highly, smooth, like there's a porcelain finish to the image. And that is not the best. You can tell how it affects the outfit at certain areas around it. I wish this image was clearer, but you can also tell from this area. And yeah, this is it. So you see the line that creates it. I can tell this is the frequency separation, where you select the area and then you blur again, and then you select the area and you blur again. And sometimes if you don't do it right, it affects the edges over here. The root to that kind of technique is it's that do not go into the edges. So this is an edge. This is an edge. Don't go there. Otherwise, you get this little white, banding over here, and that is the problem with this way of doing your frequency separation. I don't know what is really happening here. I'm not too sure about that. This I'm not too sure either. What I like about the picture is how the background is all dark and then she kind of stands out from the background, so she gets all the attention. But my biggest issue is the retouching technique used. If I zoom in here, you see that the butt cheeks have been made to look all smooth and all that stuff, and it's not really the best. I mean, if you were gonna clean the skin this smooth, you could have also cleaned the underwear to make it equally, as white and clean and smooth as well. But that is my take on it. I'm not too big on the hand up here either. It's a little bit distracting, I would say, because of the blue of the fingernail. So you could have placed it somewhere else that would be less distracting in terms of directing the model. But my biggest issue is the retouching, the type of retouching that you did. So yeah, that's my opinion. I would give this maybe about. For me, it's a huge no-no for this kind of editing. So I'm tempted to give it like 2 light bulbs, but for the sake of the effort put into it and all, I'll probably give it like maybe three light bulbs, and that's just about it. I'm trying to do this under 25 minutes at most. I know it's a long one, not what I expected to go, but generally this is what I have to say. So let's review the images again. We have this problem was chromatic aberration, and then the smoothing that he did on the skin and lack of doing the face like retouching rather than doing the smoothing. It doesn't work that way, and crop it a little bit more. Same thing here, crop down here, fix the colors down. The skin tone should be even, not big on the chair. Here, yeah, it's a great picture. It could have been shot better. This one, yes, this light is distracting from the face as well. It just keeps competing for the for the attention in the picture. This one, the skin looks purplish, so the white balance can be corrected a bit to make it look good. Yes, I was going to say something about this picture again. This kind of pose, I do not think it's you see how the white eyes are, taking all the attention in the image. Usually when they look like that, their eyeballs are supposed to come about halfway here. That way it looks very natural. So their face, you won't believe what I just did. I was using my hand to show you how I was going to tell you, but that's, I know you obviously can see, so let me use the mouse. So the eyes should have looked here, and then it looked away like so, not to the corner, but like to this side. Yeah, and then this image, the blurriness on the monkey's face, the focus is here, and then whatever you did in the background wasn't the best, I would say. But yeah, it's okay. Here, great lighting, great pose, great smile, and everything. But the tone, skin tone, the white balance can be made better, and then you straighten up your image as well and cropping tighter. There's so much space being left here and so much space being left down there. Here, skin looks purplish. The technique used, that frequency separation technique used, and it creates this band on the face and all that stuff. And you can tell your depth of field was very shallow, especially here as well. Crop the top, get it closer, get it tighter. That would be great. And then we have this image. Not a big fan of the skin smoothing technique of the frequency separation here, that you can tell with the banding along this side, and this one is distracting. But I like how the background is all dark and then she stands out of it. That's great as well. So that is my review for these 7 images. Wow, it took me 7 images to do 26 minutes. My bad. I'll try and make it quicker and more precise next time, but I hope that you enjoy it. So Kwekuti, Richard Opong, Emmanuel Akon, Wild Imaginations, Emmanuel Imat, Ifia Billionaire, Echo Rubin, and then Bright Odu. Thank you for submitting, and I hope that my little review has helped you. So with that said, I hope to see you next week. Again, I have some more tutorials coming, so stay tuned and enjoy. See ya. Now let me explain the reason why I use light bulbs. I call it light bulbs because at DextDee photography, we look at the good light. So if the light is so good, that is how many light bulbs you get to make the image good. So that is why I rate everything by light bulbs. So I hope you get the whole idea now.